Okay, if we get back to the league this weekend against Hartlepool United, how's training been this week as we get ready for that one?
Yeah, good. Positive. I think we've won the last couple, so that's important. But fair play to the players. They're pretty much always like that, and the standard's been good. So pleased overall with the numbers we've got, and the intensity and where we're at.
Coming into it off the back of a win in the FA Trophy, what are your thoughts on that game? Looking back at it now,
yeah, I'm pleased. It could have been more with the chances we had, but always the potential banana skin there because of you just see the conditions. I think up and down the country was the same. So, no, just pleased to be in that and put that one to bed, and obviously look forward to now important games of football that we want to attack.
Yeah, it's 4 games unbeaten now in all competitions. What's the key to ensuring that run?
Yeah, our focus is just on the next one. And, that's all it is. The next game, and just make sure we do things right in training. We prepare properly. And when we cross the white line, that we're ready to play. And against looking for a really tough game. So just making sure that we keep our standards there.
Yeah, in charge of our opponent, Hartlepool, is Lenny Lawrence, who's been doing the job for more than 40 years. What sort of game are you expecting from them?
A really tough one. Watching their games, they've been really organised. Caused teams a lot of problems. A lot of very good teams as well. So yeah, brilliant to see someone like Lenny still involved in the game, because I think with that experience and now there's so much maybe talk about young upcoming managers, but let's not forget the people who've been there and done it. I think that's hugely important. We've got it here with John Still, and people like that are invaluable in the game, and I'm pleased that he's in and doing well, but obviously not for Saturday.
Yeah, back at Roots Hall, of course. It's been 3 weeks since we've had a home game. So how much are you looking forward to getting back to Roots Hall and having the backing of the home fans again?
Yeah, definitely. As you say, we've done away from home. But want to start moving at home, and getting performances and results. And starting Saturday, I'm sure we'll have a big crowd in, as we always do. And hopefully we can give them a positive result, and a good performance.
Thank you.
Kevin, Saturday was a bit of a rare one with a 1 o'clock kickoff. So you had a free late Saturday afternoon, which is a bit rare. Yeah. How did you spend it?
No, home to the kids. Like wife and kids are at the game, so we just went out for something to eat and watch more football.
Oh, very nice. And as well, we had the draw, and you saw it was either Southport or Beach Sports. We know it's Southport. Did you have an eye on the draw?
Yeah, we were in the office, so we just had it on in the background. Yeah, I think everyone does. And I think it's pleased to be at home, to say. But that'll come round quick enough, I'm sure. And off the back of a Christmas period, I think the most pleasing thing was being at home, probably.
No, absolutely. And of course, out of that game, we talked about a lot in the post-match, and great performances from some of those players who had as many minutes recently. I suppose in training, how's that impacted training this week?
No, not really. So training's been, as it has been. I think it's maybe the first half you can see a little bit of rustiness, that players that haven't played so many minutes, but it was good that we got through that, and we've won the game comfortably in the end. And I think it's been a good week's training.
Of course, Pep taking the hat trick as well. Afterwards, he said he wasn't really satisfied as well. We actually felt he could have got more and more goals. When you hear that from your forwards, that hunger, that desire to get one, must be delighted to hear that. Yeah,
listen, I think across the board we could have had at least a couple more goals. So, pleased he got his hat trick in the end. And all forwards, they all want to score. If you speak to them all, they'd all be the same, I'm sure. But pleased with him. Delighted that he's got on the score sheet again. So listen, we've got decent competition for places now up there, and the standards got to be high, and we've got to produce to stay in the team.
And even more now in defence as well. We got a little taster of sort of James Golding, what he will bring to the team. But obviously that all came very fast. That day. Yeah. When you kept an eye on him, what was it that you've seen about James that you'd like to bring him into the squad?
Yeah, listen, I think it's just an area we wanted more competition. Gubbo's coming back from injury, so he's getting closer and had a good week's training. James has played the level, I think, which is important, but he's got a lot of very good attributes in terms of size and athleticism. He's comfortable on the ball, so we're pleased to have him on board with us, and adds good competition to that area.
Nathan Ralph, should he be involved this weekend? It'll be 150 appearances for Southend. Just tell me a little bit about the value of his leadership.
Yeah, I think incredible professional in how he leads the team. You can have different types of leadership. Ralphie leads by example because of how he trains every day, how he performs, how he lives his life, and how good a professional he is. And he's a credit to himself, how he carries himself as well. And since I've come through, he's been exemplary. So delighted, and if selected, I'll be delighted for him.
Absolutely. One of the comments you made in the post match was about, I think one of the big features for the run you're having at the moment is standards being driven. We're approaching sort of 25 games played in all competitions, excluding post-season. Over that time, what's been the sort of biggest development you've seen in your side?
Yeah, I think, as I say, there's been a lot of change, and I think you look at any team throughout the country, and if they lose big players, it affects them. Man City done it. Arsenal lost games because they lost big players, and everyone will suffer. But we're getting back to what our identity is, what we look like as a team. I think that's important, and people learning the job as well, because it doesn't happen overnight. It happens with hours on the training ground, and everyone buying into that. And I think competition for places and a bit stronger squad obviously helps as well, and having all your best players available is a huge thing. But I think it's a combination of a lot of things, if you want.
Certainly a good time to be taking on Hartlepool. First time in about 9 years, I think it's Southend have taken on Hartlepool as well, I think. And what you talked a little bit about it before, where you expect those danger areas to be on the pitch?
Yeah, I think obviously we played them earlier in the season, so that was a tough game at their place that we couldn't quite get over the line with. But they're a threat. The big man up top's a threat. In the wide areas, they're a threat as well. And they've got some very good footballers, and their squad's good. I see them made a lot of changes during the week, so I'm sure they'll be ready for it. And from what I've seen, they're really well organised. Tough to beat, but one that we're at home. So we're ready for it, and I'm sure it'll be a good game.
Really great, that first home game for that. Of course, they do have a danger man up top in Emmanuel. There's Zouvré. When you have a danger man like that, who's the key target for God, tactically, how do you manage that?
Yeah, I think they've got other key players, I've got to say, in different areas. But listen, I think you have them different challenges every week with different players. So obviously we're aware of their strengths and hopefully weaknesses as well. And we've got to make sure we perform as well as not focusing overly on opposition, because we've got to get ourselves right.
And of course, we mentioned it as well, the first home game in about 3 weeks, been on the road a lot, but I suppose mentally it's a real boost to be back at home as well.
Yeah, hopefully, of course. We want to get the crowd going on our side. You see what it's like when we played Charlton here, and home games that we've gone and got results, that they're important, they're huge for us, the crowd, when they're on side, and we give them something as well. And I think that's really important from the players to do that and set the tempo, and let's make it a difficult place for opponents to come.